Welcome back, everybody. So glad you could be with me here in the workshop. Walter here. In our continuing series of selecting hand planes, we need to remember we're selecting them based on task, based on what they can do for you. In a previous video, I talked about stock preparation and where I would go with a jack plane as bare minimum, particularly a number 5. Then move up to maybe a 5.5 and a 6. And then if you have really big surfaces and you need to true them up, or you're doing a workbench top, you may need to go to a triplane. The jointer plane, generally speaking, is not used in stock prep. So, moving on to finishing planes. What is a finishing plane? What is a smoother? Well, a smoother is any plane, I don't care which one, that leaves you with a smooth, polished surface ready for finishing. Typically, they are shorter planes because we used our stock preparation planes to make our stock flat, straight, and true. We've done our joinery, we've cut to length, we've ripped and edged, we've done mortise and tenon, we've done breadboard ends, we've done whatever it is already, and we're done handling this board. The next stage for this piece of wood would be into assembly. Prior to assembly, just prior to assembly, that's where the smoothers come in. All right? Now, a smoother, as I said, can be any size, and it can be a wooden smoother, it can be a bronze, it can be longer, it can be shorter, but typically they're going to be in this snug length of between like 9 and 10 inches. This one is a number 3. The number 3 has an 1.75 inch cutting iron. The number 3 was usually paired with a 5.25 junior jack. So that would have been your jack plane and your smoother. For people, smaller stature, smaller hands. That could have been students or just someone who isn't 6 foot tall and large in girth. So, the other reason why you may want a number 3 is your work is not very long. So at 9, just about 9.5 inches, you're looking to be able to plane anything from the length of the plane twice as long. So somewhere around 18 inches. Moving on to the number 4. The number 4 is just ever so slightly longer. Not by much. Maybe 1/8 of an inch, 1/4 inch tops. The number 4 has been touted as the only plane you'll ever need. You've heard that before. And to some extent, it can be true, depending on the task at hand. And a lot of woodworking and which tool to use and how to sharpen it all revolves back to the task at hand. So in this instance, we're looking at a board that has been prepped, planed flat, straight, and true, and we're looking to smooth it. Okay, you've got layout lines, you've got scribble, whatever, and now it's time to clean it up and get it ready for assembly. So you set it to where you're almost not taking a cut at all. Okay, then you advance just until you start taking a cut. All right, you're taking ultra fine shavings. You're not looking to remove stock in preparation for joinery. You are smoothing the surface and polishing it. I just advanced the cutter ever so slightly because I wanted to show you you can almost get full width shavings, but your blade, your cutting iron has to be sharpened so that the sides are cambered ever so slightly so you get this feathering. You see that? What that does for you, it allows you to overlap cuts without leaving raised lines, which we affectionately call plane tracks. Okay, so this board now is smooth. Okay, that's smooth and polished, ready for finishing. Now, that ever so slight camber will leave scallops in the surface of the wood. Can you see that? It leaves these scallops. If you have your plane set up correctly, those scallops are going to be about 1/1000th of an inch, maybe slightly more in the middle. And they are immaterial to you because as you start putting finish on, you're going to apply finish. It's going to fill some of those scallops, and then you're going to sand it. And you're going to apply finish, and you're going to sand it. So over the finishing process, those scallops will go away. Now this is the number 4.5. Some call it the jumbo smoother. I call it the adult. And that is my preferred smoothing plane, unless the work is small. If the work is small, I'll use the number 3 or the number 4. So those are smoothing planes. And the one other aspect of smoothing planes, well, we've talked about this in the past. There are actually 5 aspects of smoothing planes. Freshly sharpened blade, tightly set chip breaker, reasonably tightly set mouth. You want to close the mouth up to about the thickness of the shaving or slightly more. And in difficult woods, there's some other things that you can do, but typically, and I don't care if it's a wooden body plane, you want the mouse to be tight, the blade to be super sharp, and finely set. Don't try hogging off thick cuts. Fine cuts. And that'll leave you with a surface that you can't get with sandpaper. I don't care. I don't care what sandpaper you use. You're not going to get that surface. And at what cost? Okay? That's it, everybody. Smoothing planes. Any questions? Leave them down in the comment sections. Or if you want to put a comment in the comment section or a suggestion, you can put that down there. Or you could just say hi. Hi, Walter. How you doing? Look forward to reading them. As I always say, like, subscribe, and share. Head out to your shop. Go make some shavings with your smoothing planes. Walter out.